Welcome back to our series, Spilling the Tea with the Henna Guys. I'm Henna.
I'm Michaela.
And I'm Hillary.
Today we're going to be doing another reaction video, and this time is someone you guys probably know.
Brad Mondo. So this will be the one where he actually tries henna on mannequin, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in seeing exactly, because I'm going to respect him on this, is him actually daring himself to use henna, because a lot of, not a lot, less majority, the taboo is just out there of henna is so bad, you shouldn't use henna. So I respect you trying henna, and seeing how it actually goes.
Well, and it's crazy because I know a lot of hairstylists and none of them were taught how to use henna. Like,
well, yeah, because the first thing they're actually told is henna is not good for your hair.
Yeah, if someone comes into your salon and they've used henna, do not touch their hair.
Exactly.
Like, it's probably all going to fry off, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
But
because we, when we do trade shows, we've actually had hairdressers come to us and be like, this is great. And, and then they're actually like, we've been told that henna is not good, but they're always like, it is amazing. Yeah, which is really surprising to me, especially coming from hairdressers who have been told, that henna is amazing, and she's like, I'll never go back.
Well, yeah, and I think it's because, like, several decades ago when henna hair dye first became more popular, there were so many, like, preservatives and chemicals still in it, and metallic salts. So I think that's where all of that stigma comes from. But a lot of henna dyes don't have that anymore, so I don't understand why. At least offer some kind of training course, like almost similar to like a balayage course, or you can take it on the side if that's something you're interested in doing. I'll never understand, but then again, I never went to cosmetology school, so.
All right, let's get started.
Hi, beautiful. Today we're talking about the wonderfully debated world of henna hair color. A lot of people really despise it and hate it. Most of those people who hate it are hairdressers. I know there's not a lot of options out there for a natural hair color, and I know henna is the most popular one. I've actually never used henna before, so if you're wanting to try henna for the first time and you have no idea about it either, well, we're gonna learn together. I wanna actually try henna on Miss Mannequin today and learn all about the pros and cons of using henna. And maybe by the end of the video, I'll be able to help you make that decision on if you should use it or not. We're gonna unwrap that as we go, and we're gonna get into it, and we're gonna have some fun with some hair color that I've never used before. Let's do it.
No, that does have to be fun though.
This stuff.
Like trying new stuff with your hair.
Natural hair coloring and hair treatment. A 100% natural and vegetable formula. Not tested on animals. Does not contain ammonia, PPD, parabens, peroxide, heavy metals, artificial fragrance, mineral oils, or GMOs. I don't see anything on here that says the ingredients. I get it, it's a leaf, but I want to know more because I feel like that's not it.
I would want to know too.
For this hair dye, Emma?
Arnica, acai, guar, aloe vera, Brazil nut, and guarana from India on the Brazilian Amazon rainforest. Henna powders also contain amla, an Indian fruit rich in vitamin C, shikhi for the hair, I can't read today, and is a superior cleanser that supports hair growth.
Okay, seems sketchy to me, but it's natural ingredients.
No?
Well, coming from him, because they're all natural herbs, what he just said. So it's like alien language, because like if I just take a regular box dye and I can't even pronounce some of the stuff, and that's alien to me. So that's just the same.
And that sounds like definitely more of a henna blend versus an actual henna dye, because there's a lot more herbs and everything added into that.
Yeah, so it's definitely
henna.
It's definitely still all natural, but it's not pure henna. So I wonder what that's gonna do to the color, honestly.
Yeah.
And no, I'm interested in seeing how this goes.
Yeah, me too.
Be literally anything. This is $9.99. Pretty damn cheap. And it comes in a little packet like this. It smells really good. I love the smell of crushed up leaves. All you gotta do is mix the powder with some water and you get a poop-like looking paste that you're supposed to put on your head.
That's
Too thick.
Yeah.
I put pooped in it. I don't know how I'm gonna get this evenly on the head. It also says not to comb it or brush it or do anything like that. And hopefully this is enough for the entire head. Let's try this out, shall we? Ooh, I'm thinking it's gonna leave more of a splash of red. So this is her starting level. It's about a level 6. This is her natural hair color. It has not been colored before. So on my trusty dusty directions, it says to shampoo the hair and towel dry it. So we're going to be applying onto damp hair. By the way, guys, the reason why I'm doing red today is because henna does not actually naturally come in black. They add things like indigo to the color to make it black. All hair can react differently depending on what chemicals are already on the head, and each color is natural. So you don't actually know how that particular leaf that's in your package is going to react to your hair. When you're doing this color, you have to be open to it not being what it looks like on the box, which is scary. I'm going to wash her hair and towel.
What happened to us? Streaming TV happened.
Oh, ads.
Psycho aliens that tortured me in their dungeon! That story really did sound like something we would do. I mean, it feels like something we pitched.
I'll dry it, and then I will be back to apply the henna. So what I'm going to actually do is try out the red henna on this side, and then try...
So not necessarily to apply it to damp hair. You just want to make sure it's clean.
Yeah.
So if you wash your hair like yesterday and you want to apply it today, it's absolutely fine. You really don't need to go back and wash your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, if you did wash your hair yesterday and style it and put hairspray on it and
Yeah.
well, you know, you definitely want to
that
make
too.
sure there's
Definitely.
no products whatsoever
Yes.
in your hair.
Yes.
And another thing is, if you're really uncertain as to how the color is going to show up on your hair, please strand test before you do a full
Definitely,
application.
yes.
That's going to give you a better idea of how the color will show up in your hair versus just going in blindly.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, I mean, there are going to be some variations between the color, like the more you use it, because it is a crop. I mean, we mentioned in another video that, you know, it's kind of like when you buy produce from the grocery store, your strawberries will never taste the same.
Right.
Because they're going to be grown in different places or different times of year.
Climate,
it's just
all factors in.
Yeah, so kind of think of that as picking out your strawberries from the grocery store.
Out the burgundy on the right side. We're going to see what the real difference is.
I want to see how the burgundy
turns out. If there is any difference, and if these colors come out how they're supposed to come out, which I'm sure they won't. I want to see just how off it is. So I'm going to start applying this on the bottom of the head. Oh yeah, it's exactly how I thought it was going to feel. Like you're smearing poop on your head. I don't know how.
It's more mud.
And her head is going to be
mud.
Stained. Okay, so it's definitely very thick. Now I'm going to be applying it to the entire hair strand all the way down, because this does not actually lift your hair. It just deposits tone. It actually just lays on top of the hair fiber. You're not gonna have to worry about hot roots, aka your roots getting lighter than your ends. You are gonna have to worry about people thinking of poop on your head. Okay, not the worst. It's definitely a little green. I don't know how this is gonna turn the hair red. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna be really depressed. The interesting thing is that it actually like fully coats your hair. Whereas like semi-permanent dye molecules just attach to your hair, this like fully puts a coating around it. In a way, kind of like suffocates your hair fiber. So it's gonna fill in all the cracks and holes in your hair, and
it actually repairs your damaged hair.
Yeah,
so it doesn't really suffocate.
Yeah, I don't like that term suffocate, because essentially what it is, like you said, it does repair. It's essentially like putting a protective coating around your hair. It's like when you get a phone case for your phone. You're not suffocating your phone. You're putting a protective layer on it to prevent from breakage. That's exactly what henna does.
Well, and then like the whole suffocating your hair thing, like your hair doesn't breathe, so I don't understand that. Like it protects your hair.
The henna is coating the hair, but you know how much it helps from sun damage?
Yeah.
Because of that coating?
make it a lot less porous. But I've also said that it dries your hair out a lot. This is very confusing in a lot of ways. But overall, the consensus is that the individual hair strands feel thicker, which is pretty cool. So if you have really fine hair and you want to just keep it the same color forever, maybe this is an option for you. People say there's been no actual studies done on henna and what it's doing to your hair on a scientific level. Regular hair color has been researched a lot, and that is why it's very widely used and trusted by many men and women. Henna is...
Okay, henna been here since mankind, so there's really not necessarily too much why it's been used for centuries and centuries.
Yeah, versus box dye, that was only created within the early 20th century. That's a relatively new concept to dyeing your hair, whereas using henna or other herbs to dye your hair has been used for over 9 millennia.
Well, and chemical dyes, when they first started being used, there was ammonia in it. There were all these super dangerous chemicals in it.
There still is.
Yeah.
Which giving those bad reactions.
Yeah. But like some of the dyes, like they're still like taking some of those out to make it more natural and less harmful. So they're like constantly like improving those, I guess. But it hasn't even been the same product used for the past 100 years. I mean,
there's still artificial chemicals. That's still nothing absolutely natural because it is using various chemical compounds to achieve the color, whereas with henna it's literally the plant that has been dried out and then ground up into a powder, and then you're adding whatever liquid, whether that be water or brewed tea or coffee or juice, other natural ingredients. Like there is a big difference, but because it has been in use since the Egyptians, you really don't need to test it. It's
not that. Henna is a natural product. It doesn't need to go through the same testing, and therefore it hasn't been tested. So we don't actually know what this is doing to your hair in the long term and after several uses, which is also a little scary. Now, there is something really nice about using a natural product like this on your hair, and just how it makes you feel like you're doing something good for yourself, because you are. I mean, at the end of the day, it is just leaves, and the leaves aren't going to kill you. The leaves aren't going to seep into your skin and do something crazy to you, where all the other formulas of hair color have a lot of chemicals in them. And you do have to worry about those things, like, is this actually good for me? Is this going to kill me? Is this okay to use my whole life? These are the questions you may ask when you're using other kinds of normal hair color that has ammonia and peroxide. Now that I'm in here and applying, I'm kind of getting my thing down. I'm just taking really small sections. It is a mud-like consistency. You definitely have to work it in quite a lot. And I've heard it really stains your skin bad, so try and not get it on your face if you're going to try this out yourself.
That's also obviously dependent upon where the henna is, what part of your skin is touching. It's not gonna, it will do a slight stain on like your face and neck and whatnot if you're applying your hair. However, you're gonna see the most on like your hands or your feet.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting that he mentioned that like henna stains so badly. But every time I've used chemical dyes in the past, like you drop a single little drop of chemical dye like on your tub or your counter, and that's never going away. You're gonna have to use like these super abrasive cleaners to get it to maybe fade a little bit. Yeah. But henna, like, it dyes your skin too to a certain extent, but not to like how chemical dyes do. But it's not like chemical dyes just will never dye the skin. It is like a foolproof method of dyeing your hair.
Well, like, I'm trying to get my mom to switch over, which is really hard because she's like, it's just too long. I have so much to do. And like when I see, because her hair is thin, and when I see her, she uses a chemical dye, like on her skin, I could see it's so dark.
Yeah.
And with henna, it actually looks better.
Yeah.
Like with the chemical dyes, like on the skin, and you can actually see, especially if you have thin hair, it kind of looks weird. It looks weird to me. But with henna on the skin, like it kind of blends in. It doesn't really, I don't see it like really so vibrant and separated.
Yeah, because I mean, even with like the best dye jobs ever, they're still like, say you want to get your hair bright purple, you're gonna see that purple on their scalp for at least a couple of days afterwards. Whereas with henna, you know, it's not really gonna be a harmful temporary stain, and it does go away after just a couple washes.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're really concerned, just apply Vaseline over your creases. And it won't stain, you know, because it's slippery. And on your face, if it does come on, it's gonna wash off really easily. Versus your hands, that's where it's darker the most. Versus your face, actually, it's really amazing. You know that it doesn't, you know, really grab onto your face as much as with your hands, but then it goes on with any other part of your body too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So far, I'm just really not convinced that this is going to change her hair color. I think she's gonna need some heat on her head. It just seems like a little too cold and a little too natural to change this hair color. I don't know, man.
She only
I have
needs
successfully finished the
natural
red dye.
heat.
Now on to the burgundy. We're gonna talk more about the pros and cons of using henna, because there are some pros and there are definitely some cons. So I think after all that talking I just did, the biggest pros for me are that it's natural. It's going to coat your hair in a way that it will make it feel thicker and healthier, make you feel like you have all around just more hair, which I think is really cool. Also, from what I've researched, this color does not fade nearly as fast as, you know, just regular red color from a normal color brand. So that's awesome. So that's why a lot of redheads choose to use henna, because of the fact that it doesn't run out of your hair and it really grips on there. You also get some of the most beautiful red color I've ever seen in your hair when using henna. Obviously the issue with that, you can't really replicate it the same way every single time, but we'll get into that with our cons list. So as I'm getting around the head with this henna color, it's actually getting easier. I'm using smaller sections and I'm using it as if it's mud, you know? It definitely sticks on top of the hair, and to move it around you kind of have to like really smush it in. And you know, people said it's really messy. It's definitely messy, a little messier than, you know, normal hair color, but I wouldn't say it's too bad or too annoying. Some people may also say that the smell is a little crazy. Emma hates the smell, I love the smell. If you're into like very natural smells and like tea, this is going to be your thing. Otherwise, if you like more fragrancy, perfumey scents like Emma does, like Bath and Body Works.
You can also add in essential oils to help with the smell.
Yeah, well, and going back to the scent, when you dyed your hair on Friday, the only thing I smelled was coffee, and I was like, this smells so good. Like, even with the henna, even with the cassia, the amla that was added, the only thing I could smell was coffee. I was just like, I kind of just
want
to...
It was coffee and lavender essential oil. Like, literally, like, I was walking around my house smelling lavender for the rest of the evening, and that's even after rinsing it out of my hair.
Yeah, and then you mentioned like you can only smell coffee. I can only smell lavender because I'm just allergic to it. I could like sniff it right out.
Yeah, well, no, my head smelled. It was great smelling. I loved it.
I mean, I would rather have that natural earthy scent than like ammonia or like all the
that
chemicals.
Scent, because of the scent on the chemicals, actually gives you that burning and watery in your eyes.
Yeah, like my eyes sting so bad from using chemical dyes. Like it's oh no, never again. No.
Yeah, no, it's awful.
Yeah,
but
let's see his cons.
Never gonna get the color you actually want. With regular hair dye, you can literally pick and choose the exact color.
You can literally do a strand test.
Hairdresser, you can pick the exact path to get there.
And you can't get the desired color you want. I wanted light brown, and I would absolutely say I think we were able to achieve this. And this is only... we applied it on Friday, and today is Tuesday.
Yeah, we're about 67 hours into it.
Yeah, and my hair is
really nice.
light brown. This is the color, and the only thing is that it is a henna.
Cover your grays too. pretty
It
well.
did, yeah. I'm happy that they're not visible right now, but no, it was literally henna with just a little bit of indigo and then a couple of other herbs that help to just condition your hair. And I can tell you that my hair feels just amazing.
It's been longer than 67 hours. I thought it was Monday.
It's a long day already.
Okay, yeah, so we're over the 72 hours. I just can't count. Nope. Yeah, but his whole con about, you're never going to get your desired color, I don't think that that's true, because you can do a strand test to see what color you're going to end up with, and then make some adjustments to the preparation of the dye, so you can get your desired color. And every single time I've dyed my hair with chemicals, it's either been too dark or it's just not the right tone. So I mean, if you go to a salon, I guess you can get that, but at the same time, like, that's how much money that you're spending, and you're still using chemicals. And
I mean, yeah, but like if you have darker hair and you want to go to red, like, okay, yes, you cannot, because you can't go lighter with henna.
Right.
But then again, do you really want to really damage your hair
Right.
and reverse and then go into like that color? And yes, by all means use the chemical box dyes. But if you want to go to that extreme color, that it means you're damaging your hair.
yeah.
And now I do have to say, like, the one thing with henna that you can't do that you could do with box dyes is, say you did want to dye your hair blue, or you are wanting like green. Henna is not going to be able to attain those more, because they're not natural hair
Not
color
the natural
tones.
colors, you would say.
Yeah. Whereas, I mean, yes, you could use cassia for more blonde hair, but say you've got brown hair or black hair or just more even red hair, like if you're naturally that hair color, henna will be able to do that for you. It's just if you're really trying to go with the wild and crazy colors. I mean, you could get a pretty vibrant red with henna, but sadly that is the one drawback, that you can't get any crazy color like that. But at this point in my life, I think I'm done with the crazy colors, so that's why we're sticking to the more natural stuff.
You can use 20 volume, you can use 30 volume, you can use whatever volume developer you need to use to get to your desired level and your desired redness. You can also add pigments like copper, or red, or orange, or yellow into your formula to make the exact formula you're looking for. Another pro would be that you can lift permanent color out of your hair, regular color. Henna is known to be difficult to lift, plus we aren't really sure what it is when it's on your hair, because there's been no studies done about henna and the effect on your hair. Hairstylists aren't sure if they can effectively lift your hair without it snapping off, so most hairstylists are going to tell you they can't do your hair for you. I don't f with henna. I would never. I have messed with henna in the past and it hasn't been huge, so I stopped doing that. And in most nice salons, they're going to tell you, no, I cannot do your hair if you have henna in it. So if you're trying to change your color at any point when you have henna, it's not going to happen. Unless you do it yourself, or you have somebody that's brave enough to take on that task for you. You're probably going to be stuck with the same color for a very long time until it grows out. Another downfall is uneven results. If you use a color like this straight out of the box, you're going to get different results every time, because it is a leaf and it's all natural. It's not regulated like that, so you're not going to know exactly what color you're going to get every single time. I have heard that you can buy henna from a store like Lush, and you can actually mix it yourself and add different dyes and stuff to it so that you get the exact color you're looking for every single
More ads.
I wish I was on a beach.
time. Sometimes you also don't really know what they're adding into the formula, so you don't know if this has some nasty ingredient or they're actually...
I have so many things to say.
Oh my.
So...
Like, I mean, first off the bat, if you're going to go with henna, you need to know exactly get the purest form. That's number one.
Yeah.
And the no.
I mean,
I don't know where.
depending on what henna you get, you might not know what exactly it is, but you can look it up and be like, oh, indigo is a natural herb. Like, it's not like different ingredients and chemical dyes where it's like, I have no idea where this came from, how it was even created.
Actually more unknown from the box dyes.
Well, yeah. I mean, the only reason why it's unknown is because it's herbs that like don't usually grow in the U.S.
Right.
Like, I mean, there are plenty of things that I had never heard of until I started here, but now it's just like second nature to me. You know, it's
yeah.
The unknown ingredients, if you're not sure of the ingredients, research it.
Right.
Just look it up. That's seriously, like, that's the easiest thing to do if you're not sure, especially like if you are looking at something with more natural ingredients. Oftentimes, if they are using a plant, they will use the Latin name of the plant. So all you have to do is, I mean, Google is a wonderful tool that I personally use a billion times a day, either for work or for my own personal life. And so if you are unsure of something, by all means look it up, because that is something, because there could be a different henna dye that does have additional ingredients that you might be sensitive to or not sure of. So do as much research as you can before committing to it, because that is one thing, is the henna is really a commitment. You're not going to be able to go back.
It's permanent dye, so.
Well, and I mean, yeah, it is harder to lift, but there are ways to remove the henna if you wanted to. I mean, it could take several applications too, but you definitely can do it. And part of that goes back to, is that part of, like, is it hard to lift because hairdressers are never taught how to work with henna?
That could be it too.
I mean, because if you have no experience using it, then you're going to be like, okay, well, with chemical dyes, I can just use bleach and lift all the color.
Right.
But, well, I tried that with henna and it didn't work. So, I mean, maybe if there's more research being done by hairdressers to find out what works and what doesn't.
I feel like the hairdressers who do their due diligence and do research on, like, I don't know if you guys experience, but I've experienced some customers actually come back and be like, I had my hairdresser actually remove it for me and it was fine.
Right.
So I just, again, with the hairdressers to remove them, they need that knowledge.
Yes.
But that taboo is out there so bad to them already that they're just like, oh, we're not even touching this.
Yeah, and because and that's the unfortunate part, because if more hairdressers actually were to do more like research and everything like that, you would be able to see just how much of an improvement henna does on your hair.
Well, and just his comments about, like, you never know what color you're gonna get, like the uneven results, like strand test. Like, if you're concerned about the color, do a strand test, but I have never seen someone, you know, get a vastly different color than what they were expecting and not be able to correct it.
Yeah.
So
And anyone who's trying to use henna, even for the first time, they actually know what they're getting into.
Right.
So it's not something, oh, I'm just going to try this. I don't know what color I'm going to get. They actually know. And then obviously ask questions to the company, whatever company you go with. Ask them.
Right.
I have this certain color and I've used this box dye or the chemical dyes, whatever dyes you used. Contact them and ask for help, you know. Get as many answers as possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
is some hair dye in it. It says all natural in the packaging, but I'm pretty sure this is not regulated by the FDA, so I'm
Why
not
would
sure
it need
what
to
is
be?
actually in here.
It's not food.
No.
Another downfall is if you previously have colored your hair and your hair is not its natural color, you may get weird results from the chemicals of the hair dye you used mixing with the henna. That's happened before. You could get green results or other colors that are just not desired. This cannot be used to make your...
Depending on what you do, like I've definitely seen some people where they do end up with like a green tint or a purple tint because they're only applying indigo to their hair and they're totally skipping the pure henna
The pure
step.
henna, which is the base, and especially if you're using, trying to get darker. But he's just using the pure henna, the more redder version, and there's no indigo in it, so really you don't even need to worry about having that green tint, because the green tint actually comes from the indigo only if you use it solely.
And that's indigo absorption, so that basically the indigo has taken over and it's going to be like, okay, well, we're going to be making a show on your hair. The best way to just counteract that is just add more henna to it.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, henna may need to have additional applications done if you have had previously chemical dyed hair, just because first and foremost with that first application of henna, it is going to try to repair and restore your hair follicles to their best unaltered state.
Yeah, so I mean, it can take a few applications, but I mean, I think it's totally worth it to have, your hair be a lot healthier. So, and like you guys have said, people who decide to use henna usually have bad reactions to the chemical dye, so they're willing to put the extra time and effort into it.
Yes.
Or they're wanting to live a more natural lifestyle because
they want the healthier hair.
Yeah. But I do agree with him. He did say that you can't lighten your hair with henna. Which is something that is true.
Right.
Because it takes chemicals to lighten it.
Right.
And henna is the exact opposite of that.
But there are ways that you can naturally lighten your hair. It's not just like you have to only use 30 volume bleach or whatever. Like you can use, like, say, a lemon juice rinse. You can do plenty of different things, but it would take a little bit longer than just throwing some bleach on your hair for 20 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Or lighter. Whatever starting color you're at, it's going to deposit tone on top of it, but it does not actually lighten your hair. So we have all of the burgundy color on. It is looking green. The other side's starting to look red, which is exciting. It made a little bit of a mess, got a little bit on me, but that's to be expected with color. I'm just going to kind of scrunch this in. That's what I've been doing to get it fully saturated on each hair.
That is one thing I have to say is his technique throughout the application. I did like his technique. He did go about it the right way. Like I really like how he did that.
And the leaves are starting to kind of like process on the hair. This is all weird. I don't know how this really works. This is just some kind of sorcery. I don't know. Like, what's happening inside my body when I drink green tea? Am I turning red? The same thing?
No.
Okay. So we're gonna let this process
two different leaves
with a bag over her head. I'm gonna add a little bit of heat just to kind of warm things up as if it's a natural real head, because she has no.
You don't want to add heat.
I'm pretty sure that'll help the process.
You want the process to go natural.
I'll see you guys once we rinse this off.
I think for him, in his case, because it is not a real human head that does not have the capability of using the natural heat created from the scalp, I think that's why he was going to do that, just because it's almost a simulation of it. However, on your actual scalp, when you're not a mannequin, we recommend just after the henna's been applied, absolutely cover it with some sort of like plastic wrap, shower cap, something that's going to lock in that moisture, because you don't want it to dry out on you while it's on your head. And then you can cover with a dry towel. You can, I've seen use a beanie. We actually have a reusable shower cap available that I personally love. You can use a number of things to help just keep the natural heat in one spot, because that's really what is going to help the color to fully develop and show up so amazingly on your hair.
Yep.
What we've got and analyze the befores and the afters. I'll see you then. Are you ready to see the results?
That's definitely red.
Whoa.
But where's burgundy?
I mean, yeah. You can see that it is a little bit darker on one side.
Does her hair look red? I would say so, yeah. Does it look a whole lot different? You know what? Yeah. I wouldn't say like a lot different, but it definitely did a lot more than I was expecting it to. When you have that green kind of paste on the hair, you're like, how is this gonna make the hair red? Especially because red and green are opposite on the color wheel, and you're like, how is that gonna work? It actually did a great job at making her naturally dark blonde hair into this nice copper tone. I will say that the color is really pretty in real life and super even. You can also tell on camera that it's really shiny, and the color actually looks beautiful. And for this just being ground up leaves, it looks really pretty. Now, of course, I wanted to compare these two colors to each other. If it matters which color you use of henna, I would say no. These colors look
it definitely does.
Exactly like.
No, you can tell that there's a bit darker.
Slightly though.
Leaves, how you would get
but not really burgundy.
colors and different.
However, but again, it was a henna mix, so that could be why.
It kind of sounds like bullshit, and you probably get the same exact color no matter which kind of henna dye you use.
No.
Any kind of color in the range and get the same result.
Definitely.
Now, the process honestly wasn't that hard. I left it on for an hour, rinsed it off. Her hair, I would say, feels like thicker. It definitely feels.
A few things. It definitely does matter what color you pick. If you were to pick a pure henna that has no indigo in it versus, you know, a deep red or a burgundy or even like a medium brown, a dark brown,
auburn,
any other color, you're going to get totally different results.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that the reason why his two sides don't look vastly different is because he only left it on for an hour.
That too.
Yes.
Like,
that too.
I mean, if you were to leave it on for the full 3 hours, granted it is a different company, so I don't know what their application instructions are.
Yeah.
But had he left it on longer, it would have been a totally different color.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you can see, like, especially with this clip, that that side is
that
darker.
side more is darker.
Yeah, especially this angle, you can see the slight burgundy undertone showing up more.
Well, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's not gonna be like with chemical dyes when you use, like, say, a burgundy color, where it's all going to be one tone.
Yeah.
Like, it shows, like, the natural highlights and lowlights. So I think it looks pretty good, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Very healthy. I mean, I did blow dry her hair, and of course it's gonna look a little bit more shiny after I did a blow dry on her with a ceramic round brush, so you're getting the effects of that. But I also do think the hair is actually a lot shinier, especially on the ends. I think she looks pretty damn good. I would definitely wear my hair like this. I love the color. Let's go over our findings for today. I guess the real question is now, what I recommend you use henna. I would say for me, the cons outweigh the pros for me. I would just use regular old hair color. You're gonna know what's in the product, you're gonna get just as much shine. Yes, it's not natural, but you can find.
So he left it on for an hour, rinsed it out. I'm assuming he used shampoo, because that's every time I've gotten my hair chemically dyed at a salon, they've used shampoo.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming he used shampoo, which does affect how the color develops. And since he is wearing the same exact outfit, he looks exactly the same. I'm assuming that he hasn't let the color fully develop for the 48 to 72 hours.
Yep.
So I wonder what it did look like after.
And not only that, with this particular henna mixture, obviously we don't know what the full dye release process was too.
Right.
Because if he mixed it with any, depending on which color you're getting with henna, it can have an 8 to 10 hour dye release process time versus 45 minutes. So how long did he leave that mixture sit prior to application? That could also vastly change how the color turns out.
Yeah, that. And It was too thick. I just still can't. It was just way too.
A lot more water or a lot more coffee would have
definitely
made it much smoother. Probably would have been just a little bit easier to apply.
More natural hair color lines that don't have as many chemicals and still work amazing.
Not as many chemicals, but there are still chemicals.
Why people use it. I'm not against it. I don't think it's the worst thing ever. Just don't come asking me to remove it anytime ever, because I can't help you with that. You're on your own with that one. If you guys have any thoughts about henna that I didn't go over today, I would love to know down below, or things that I might have gotten wrong, let me know. Oof. That was a lot of fun. If you guys aren't already subscribed, make sure you do right down below. It's right there. Make sure you click the like button and the bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video. You guys can also text me at this number right here. Yes, this number is really connected to my phone. And yes, I'm texting back a few of you guys if you text me right now. It's also
I don't know how I feel about that.
Check out my hair color and my
I'm guessing it's for like some app or something.
Yeah, Manny does that.
Color to check out what we have going on.
Yeah.
No, I do like that he's not saying like henna is the worst thing ever. Do not ever use it on your hair.
Right.
He's saying like, you know,
he's just personally telling about himself, like he didn't like it, so that's what he's gonna say, right?
Then again, he also does have his own hair dye brand that he's trying to promote. So.
I did look at his dye brand, and it's more vibrant colors. There's not like the natural colors, and like you said, like henna doesn't come in the. Is it still recording? Yes. But no, but henna doesn't come in those vibrant colors, so I don't think that his opinion is skewed necessarily. I just think that there's not enough education about henna and hairdressing.
No, definitely not. But again, he did the dare.
Yeah, thank you for giving it a try.
For giving it a try. I actually would love to see more hairdressers give it a try to henna.
Yeah,
it'd be very interesting.
I wonder how many people watched his video and is like, you know, I have had so many negative reactions to a chemical dye. Maybe I want to try this out. You know, I don't want to do any like vibrant colors. I'm happy with this color, so maybe I'll try it, you know.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Definitely giving exposure to something that usually there's a pretty bad stigma around.
Right.
Yes. So I can definitely appreciate that.
Yeah. You know, with him doing this and making it more aware, actually, because a lot of people don't even know about henna.
Right.
They're not even introduced to it. All they know is just chemical dyes.
Or most people hear henna and they think of henna tattoos.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they're like, wait a minute, henna tattoo, you can dye your hair with henna? Like, that's really a whole...
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the first time I had heard about henna was at a music festival a few years ago. And then when I applied for my job here, I was like, henna hair dye. And then it like clicked. I was like, well, okay, if you can use it to like dye your skin for a tattoo, of course you can use it to dye your hair. Like, but yeah, it was literally 6 months ago that I learned about henna hair dye, and I've learned so much since then.
Yeah.
But
we have coming up and all that good stuff. If you guys want to follow me everywhere else, you totally can do that. That'd be awesome.
I think this is just the rest of his plugs.
Okay.
Everywhere. Go for it.
Well, that was an interesting video to watch.
Yes.
I mean, I enjoyed, and I was very curious when we wanted to do this video how it was going to be. And I mean, the process he did was fine, applying it on. You know, I liked that. Obviously, the cons he had, which he didn't have that knowledge, so we have to give him that too, that he doesn't have that knowledge with the henna.
Well, and he made a lot of the same mistakes that a lot of first timers make.
Right.
And I mean, even though he is a hairdresser, if he doesn't have the education that, you know, you need to do henna, then I mean, there are a few things that he did that were a little bit questionable, but I just appreciate the fact that he took the time to do it.
I mean,
Yeah.
And gave it a solid effort, so.
Well, thank you so much, Brad, for doing this video. We enjoyed watching your video. And thanks for watching Spilling the Tea with the Henna Guys. We hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. If you want your video to be next, please let us know in the comment section, as well as if you want anyone else's video you'd like to see in the next couple of weeks. We hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.